In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make a card with the beautiful new Sam's Bell from the JND327 2022 Christmas collection. And this is a version that we're going to make, or we're going to make a similar version to this. This one's got acetate. We're going to miss that sort little section out. But I love this. It's just using white card and a little bit of apple. But using the inks just works so beautifully to work around there and give you that beautiful sort of soft ivy look. And this die set has a twin. It's been matched exactly with the wreath frame die, so as you can see these match, but each one is a different design so that they can be used layered together in different colors to give you an absolutely beautiful outcome. So we're going to pop that to one side and we're going to start with this one. So I'm going to bring in the pieces that I need, and the first thing I need to do is to cut the frame and colour this. So I've got a piece of coconut white card here from the Craft Artist Essential range, and I'm just going to pop my die down, and I've cut this to 5.5 by 5.5. What we want to do is we want to protect all of these edges. So I'm just going to take long strips of low-tack tape, placing them carefully against the frame, and I'm going to cover all 4 sides. And it's just going against the die frame, it's taping on the card, and it means that when we ink through the die, we're not going to ink anywhere we don't want to. So I'll pop all 4 pieces on, just like there we go. And then I'm going to release that, and we're simply going to die cut that. Now I'm going to use my Kaleido, which is an A5 machine. You can use any machine at all, but you really need something that's around the A5 or above size for this frame. So we're just going to pop that on, and we'll just run it through as you would do normally to cut it. So detail frame, I'm going forward and back. And when we come out, you can see we have our frame. Because of our tape, everything stays nicely in place. And that allows us just to tape it down to the Crafts 2 media mat. Love this mat, absolutely wonderful. So it allows me to put it down onto there so that I've now got a nice secure area. So I'm using 2 colours of the Craft Artist quick drying inks, Verdant and Field. So I'm going to start with the Verdant, and I'm using one of the blending brushes. So I'm going to pick up some of this colour, and I'm just going to roughly sweep it around the inside of that circle, sort of the outside of the middle really. So going all over, just like that, there we go. I'm then going to move on to the Field, which is a darker green. And I'm going to come from the outside in on this one. And this means I get a lovely, beautiful blend of the 2 greens onto the ivy leaves. And because of the tape, I don't have to worry about being careful. I don't do careful. I can just go all the way around each piece. There we go. So absolutely beautiful. So we simply then remove our tape. You may want to clean, or you will want to clean your die. I just use a little wet cloth, or you can use a little bit of alcohol hand sanitizer. I find that's brilliant. But when I pop this out, you'll see then you've got a beautiful piece you can use for another project, perhaps put one of the wreaths on. But we then get this absolutely beautiful shaded ivy going all around in this beautiful circle on the frame, and it's only coloured there in the frame. So we've got that piece. What I've got here is one I've already done, and I've actually put some foam tape on there. I've only used half, so what I've actually done is take a piece of foam tape. You can use a smaller width, and just cut it in half down the middle to give you a thinner piece. The alternative is, of course, to just make the frame a little bit larger. So if you made the frame 6 inches, you would find they would fit on. And what I've got here is, I've got a little card blank I've already made, and I've stamped from the JND327 Christmas Box Kit 2022. I've stamped in the Field, which is the darker green, this sentiment, Christmas wishes and mistletoe kisses. I love that. I think I've used that a couple of times, to be honest, in different fonts across the years. So I'm just going to remove my foam tape, and I'm just going to put that nicely and evenly on. And that little bit of foam there, it's only 2mm, really just gives that little bit of distance. So we could leave it there, but what we're going to do is we want to use the bell as well. So I'm going to take a piece of the coconut white card and the 2 parts of the bell. So I'm going to take a long piece of tape. There's an inner and an outer on this. Pick up the inner piece, which allows me to float over the outer piece, pop them down, and then I can cut these 2 together. So we'd simply, again, run that through. I'm using my Kaleido, but any A5 or above machine will fit this. It's quite a detailed, intricate die, so run it through forward and back a couple of times. And we'll check that it's cut. What we want to do is just carefully remove the tape while leaving the dies in place. And we're going to colour through this, but obviously we can't put tape all the way around it. So what we do for this time is we bring in a piece of magnets, perhaps one of the magnet boards or your die storage case or something like that. And that just allows us to drop the pieces back on. They'll fit into place and it keeps it pretty much stable. And we're going to do exactly the same thing again. So I'm going to bring in my verdant ink and I'm going to go around lightly with the verdant. And remember, these are a quick dry ink, so you don't have to worry about how long they're going to take to dry. They dry so quickly, so it's so useful for die cutting and cards you want to make instantly. So again, I'm not trying to be in, you know, same areas or make it all neat. I'm trying to get that little bit of difference and that little bit of different look. So you can see there, but when I pop the die off and pop the middle section off, I'm going to keep that little section. You want to keep that bit that comes out. You'll see there, you get a beautiful shaded bell with the ivy in different colours. Simply using the outside bell itself, cut yourself a further one in white, and then using some spray glue, simply spray your bell and pop your coloured one on the top of your white, and then it really does start to shine. And I use a little bit of the foam tape that I've cut down. So again, I've cut this down thin as I showed you earlier. We're just going to place that into that aperture and cut that off. And take our piece that fell out and just drop that on so you get an extra little dimension and lift in there. So with my fingers, I just shape my bell slightly. So pulling it down so it's bigger in the middle. And then again, take some foam tape. And I'm going to use a doubled up piece. So I'll get a piece and double it. Take the protective off. Pop that in the center. And then we will bring in our card. And I'm going to have my bell hanging just from the top left hand corner. A little bit of pin flare glue gel. Using a cocktail stick on the top of my bell. And I've got a little bow here I've made in some striped grosgrain ribbon to add on. And I've got 3 of the beautiful jingle bells. This time in green, because these come in 3 sizes and 3 colours. And we'll just drop those on. And there we go. Beautiful, simple, effective, using just white card with a little bit of apple card there on the side, but we get that beautiful look. And if you want to make it a little bit more expansive or expensive looking, you can add some acetate. You could make that then into a shaker card, but it just works beautifully as a batch card almost.